for a second. All right. Yo, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to the show. If you're new here, my name is Mitchell. In today's episode, I'll be talking about overcoming the anxiety of being alone. And I do these express episodes on YouTube live every Sunday at 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time. So if you do find this video content of value, share it with your friends, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's just get right into it. All right, let's just talk about the anxiety of just being alone. And before we continue with what the fear of being alone is, let's talk about anxiety. So when we look at that word anxiety, or when we feel anxious, we're really just too focused on the present, or we're too focused on the past, and you're not living. You're too focused on the future. Sorry. You're too focused on the future, and you're too focused onto the past, and you're not living within the present time. And that is why we feel anxious all the time. And that's where anxiety, it starts breeding. It starts telling you the story, and you start believing in it. And in today's episode, I'll be talking about the 3 common contributors to your fear of being alone. All right. So there's 3, and it's usually your past, your self-esteem, or your social conditioning. All right. So your past abandonment, when the person who you love, whose love you crave most as a kid, abandons you, or acts kind of distant, or acts in a way where it's a little uncaring, you might associate being alone with being abandoned or unloved. And so that is what your definition of love was as a kid. You're like, well, love equals abandonment. So that is how love is supposed to be. But as you get older and you grow up, you start to realize it's like, I'm feeling a little bit alone. How come I'm always alone? And that's one part of the reason. The second one is the lack of self-love. Usually it's related to limiting beliefs. And us as human, we tend to focus on the things that, whether it's true or not, because of the story that we consistently tell ourselves. So you don't feel like you deserve better. If you don't feel like you deserve it, it's going to be really difficult to even convince anybody else that you deserve it, right? So you don't feel like you deserve it. So that is what you're going to naturally attract. They also might not like who they are as themselves. They might not like who they are. And they might not, they're going to find a way to consistently find a way to try to stimulate themselves in order to avoid their own thoughts and their own feelings. And that's where kind of people fall into sometimes. The third one is the social conditioning. All right. The social conditioning. We're also brought up with this whole idea of there's this one, or the soulmate, this Hollywood type of love, and that the person will come into your life and try to complete you. And what you should really focus on is creating the life and lifestyle. What you should be really focusing on is creating this life and lifestyle, so that the person could come into your life to be a complement to your life, not a way to complete you as a person. And a lot of people, they don't understand that a relationship, when you get into a relationship, you're there to share each other's completeness, not a way to try to complete each other. So let's talk about the law of attraction. So the law of attraction states that like attracts like. People tend to attract people who are similar to them. Negative thinking people, negative thoughts, is believed to attract more negative experiences, while positive thinking is believed to produce more desirable experiences. So you are what you focus on, all right? So be careful what you focus on. Now, in other words, worrying about ending up being alone can actually help ensure that you are going to end up being alone. And I think there was a story where, well, not story, but an example where if you're driving, the instructor should tell you to just drive in a clear area. Now, if the instructor was like, "Hey, you see that trash can over there, or you see that pole over there? Yeah, don't hit that." You're automatically going to focus on that. And it's like it's no different than me saying to you, "Hey, don't think of the color pink. Don't think about it." You're not gonna think it's blue. Well, now you are, right? So it's kind of like that. That is the law of attraction. You are what you think about. You are what you focus on. So now, what ends up happening is you may start throwing yourself into relationships, even if it's unhealthy. That's assuming that you can get into a relationship, right? Most people they struggle getting into a relationship, but now you're already messed up, and you should still find yourself finding other people that finds you attractive enough. Now you see yourself in relationships, and you start throwing yourself in relationships, even though it is unhealthy. So you're also putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and you're also putting a lot of pressure on your partner, and it's not fair to you, and it's not fair to your partner. So the truth is that when you overcome your fear of being alone, you're able to develop who you are as a person more fully. You will bring purpose, you will bring passion, and you will start bringing personality into that relationship. But that is there's only one way to do it, and you have to be able to enjoy your own time of being alone. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So let's talk about why being alone is difficult. So number one most important thing is that we're human, okay? And I understand that we're human and we're social creatures who crave love and connection. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're an introvert. I don't care if you're an extrovert, okay? We crave love and hello. Okay. Sorry about that technical difficulty. So we're social creatures and we crave love and attention. It's our basic human need, which is why the most intense form of punishment is given to people like in prison, which is self-isolation. It's self-isolation. You got nobody to talk to. You're there by yourself. Self-isolation. It's one of the most intense form of punishment. Imagine think about COVID, okay? Just think about COVID, where either you're stuck with just that one person, which kind of amplifies your relationship, or you're just stuck there by yourself and you're like, God damn, I hate being by myself, which is why most people crack down. Some people flourish in their relationships and the things that they did. Other people, they saw a downhill slope. That's what they saw. And so, which explains why most people would rather be miserable in a relationship than face being alone. So they would rather stay in a relationship knowing that it's bad for them than just be like, you know what? It's bad, but it's better than being alone because I can't stand the fact of being alone. And that could be very detrimental to your health, because then you start staying into relationships or jobs, friendships, whatever it may be, knowing that it is not good for you, but you still stay in it, and it starts to eat you alive inside out. And I've always talked about this, which us as humans, we have two biggest fears. Number one biggest fear is that we're not going to be loved by yourself or somebody else. Or number two, that we fear that we're not going to be good enough, that we're inadequate, whether it's for yourself or other people as well. So most people are uncomfortable with whom they think they really are. And silence makes most people feel uncomfortable. So this explains why that most people, they focus on technology and they use this technology as a comfort blanket than being more productive, right? So the truth about ourselves is sometimes difficult to face, and I get it. Most people don't want to do that. What's up, Elizabeth? What's up, Liz? So the truth about ourselves is that it's difficult to face sometimes. It's very difficult to face our own self. It's difficult to be home alone and not do anything. Most people, the moment you go home, what are you gonna do? You either pull out your phone again, as if you already didn't do that on your way back home, driving home, which you shouldn't be doing, but people do that anyways. They text. They're constantly either on their phone, or they constantly need a way of distraction. And some people do it differently. Some people use alcohol, some other people use drugs. Most people use kind of all of the above. Most people use the phone. And it's like, dude, there's this constant need of I need to distract myself. I need to distract myself. I challenge you to even go home. Don't don't use your phone. Just sit down and just even have a meal sitting down without using your phone. All right. Most people can't even do that. They need a way. Oh, I feel like I need to listen to this podcast. It's like, no, you got 15 minutes. You could chill. You could sit your ass down and eat. So anyways, people can't stand being alone. But understanding ourselves is one true way of freedom. Because if you really focus on it, if you really understand it, the number one most important thing that you can do is take action. You gotta have a plan, and you gotta take action. Because what Dale Carnegie said was, inaction breeds fear and doubt. Taking action breeds confidence and courage. So what's gonna happen is that you're gonna be taking more calculated steps. Hey Mitchell, service is not best here. It's okay. I know you're watching the game right now, but I do appreciate you coming on. You can watch this afterwards, all right? So, inaction breeds fear and doubt. Taking action breeds confidence and courage. So, if you're uncomfortable being alone, it means that you're uncomfortable being alone without distractions, engagement, or some sort of assurance. Some validity from other people. A lot of people are uncomfortable with silence and being alone with their thoughts. Exactly. And that's why they always feel like they need a distraction. They need something in order to fill a void. Life fills voids. And so whatever you're missing, it's going to fill that. And so imagine you're at this very loving place. You love your own company. You love being out alone. Some people can't imagine going out eating alone, or imagine going out sitting at a movie theater alone. To me, when I first thought that, I was like, who wants to go eat alone, or who wants to go sit in a movie alone, or who wants to go travel alone? The first thought was, how pathetic is that? What a loser. You got no friends. And it's like, well, no, I do have friends, and I choose to want to do it alone because I like my own company. Now, if someone else comes in, great, absolutely. But right now, that person might be busy right now, or they might not exist. And that's okay, because you're naturally going to trust the process. You say you love being alone. Remember going to the bathroom with no phone? I do. It was a long time ago, right? And it almost feels weird to most people. Like, damn, you can't even take a shit not reading something, listening to something, or scrolling through something. It's like, yeah, like most people can't stand even a day without scrolling through something. It's like they have to. And so, like I said, it's a lot of distractions. And so with all these type of distractions, what does it kind of lead you to? It leads you to this place of emptiness. You're adding so many things into your life, as you're scrolling, you're watching. It's like, how much, okay. If I asked you, of those 10 things that you just watched right now, name 3. Just name 3. And what color shirt were they wearing? You probably can't. It's like, because you're filled with so much information, and it's like most of it isn't even relevant most of the time. So I said this before, it could be detrimental to your life if you cannot be alone. Okay, you may stay, like I said, in situations or make some sort of life choices that aren't good for you. It's just not good for you in the long run. Like I said, staying in a job, being in a relationship, group of friends, maybe even family. Like, I get it. At the end of the day, people are still people. Family's still people. And if they're causing you more harm than good, what good is staying in it? So you got to really pick and choose how you want to live your life, because you only have your own life to live, and you don't need to live it how other people want you to live it. You got to live what you live, and that's okay. All right. So moving on to my third, which is how to enjoy your own company. Okay? Now, most people, and I like to state this quote, and I think Aristotle wrote this, but I could be wrong. I searched it online. But anyways, hear me out. Here's the quote. Happiness is a journey. It is not a destination. It is not a place that you arrive in. Okay? People think like, oh, once I have X amount of dollars in my bank account, once I have this girl in my life, or once I have this man in my life, or whatever it is, and they think like, oh, once I have this, once I own this car, once I have this, once I have that, it's like then I'll be happy. It's like, no, absolutely not, because then you're giving happiness this what. Hello? I'm so sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm using my phone and nobody called me. I think at the seat. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so for some reason, people want to choose this best time to call me. I'm using my phone to stream right now, so I apologize in advance. But if you can still hear me, great. I just got 2 missed calls, all right? So anyways, happiness is a journey. It is not a destination. Okay, cool. Happiness is a journey. It is not a destination. It's not a place where you just arrive and be like, that's it. I made it. I'm happy now. It's like, no, it's this process of doing the things consistently by making and building your life and lifestyle the way you want. And that is how you get to enjoy your life, by living to who you think you are and what you value. So you have to have certain core values. Like I build my life. I'm gonna tell you this. I built my life, and I'm not like the richest guy or anything like that. All right. But what I do focus on is that I do focus on me building my life and my lifestyle based off the things that I enjoy most. What is it? What does it look like? Well, as you can tell, I like Pokemon. Those are some of my pastimes that I enjoy. I also love dancing. Dancing is one of my passions. I enjoy dancing. I love dancing, and that's something that I always do. And I always see that as like, hey, you know what? Not only do I get to express myself, and it's a way to express myself, but I get good cardio from that. I enjoy dancing, and so it gives me exercise. On top of that, I like to exercise. I like to focus on exercising. Why? Because my ass getting old and muscles start to deteriorate if I don't keep up with that, right? So I'm like, all right, I got to take care of my body mentally. I got to read books, and I got to start educating myself. And then I have to start focusing on what my purpose is, what my passion is. So that connects. So I have a deep, genuine connection within myself. So I start focus on the things that I love and I love doing. And then guess what happens? Then when I go out and I see some of my friends, I have a great time. I enjoy my own company. And so when they and my friends, if they are my friends, right, they will be like, damn, that's good for you, Mitchell. Like, damn, it's good to see that you're happy, because at one point in my life, I was very unhappy. I was upset. I was like, what's the point of life? It could kind of dwindle down pretty fast. But then I was like, look, I'm in a very good place. There's not much to tell you. I could just tell you that because I started taking action, doing the things that I do, creating the life and lifestyle, creating this environment that I have for myself, guess what? I love my life, and they love it for me too. And so guess what? They get to be a part of my life because of that. So now, happiness is a journey, not a destination. Like attracts like, right? You must become what you want to attract. And that is the first thing. And you have to be at a happy place first. Okay? This is a quote by Coach Corey Wayne, right? So you have to be at a happy place first, where you love your own company. If you can have a great time by yourself, you will always be a blessing and bring happiness to others. When you learn to love your own company, you no longer give your time away to people who don't appreciate it or take you for granted. Because when you spend time with people who do not reciprocate, deep down, what you're really telling yourself is that this is a story that we internally tell ourselves that we do not deserve better. We don't deserve better. So how you show up is what you are going to attract. Like I said, Like attracts like. You attract how you act. If you believe you are worthy, well, guess what? You're going to act like you're worthy. Your demeanor, the way you walk, the way you talk, your tone, how you express yourself. That's why, you always hear these type of things like, oh, stand up tall, shoulders back, be confident, act confident. If you're not fake it till you make it kind of thing. It's like, well, and I get that to a certain extent, but guess what? There's certain things that you just can't fake. You just can't fake it, right? And so now, like attracts like. How you show up is what you're going to attract. You attract how you act. If you believe you're worthy, love yourself, and your time alone, you're going to attract people who enjoy your own company. That's why you're able to share your love and joy to other people. You can't give what you don't have. And so, what you want to do is you want to be grateful, okay? When you're grateful, a grateful heart is a beautiful, expansive heart. That is how you're able to give to yourself, and that's how you're able to give to other people. One of the genuine inner peace of happiness stems from having gratitude, and I can't stress that enough. Be grateful for what you have. Most people complain about the Joneses, right? It's like, focus on what you got. Stop focusing on what everybody else has. Or, hey, I have an old iPhone and all my friends have new ones. It's like, dude, chill out. A phone's a phone. As long as it calls, you good. And I get it. Maybe if you were younger and everybody's trying to follow up with the trends and you're left behind, maybe you have old clothes and they got new clothes. I was in that predicament before when I was a kid. I wasn't able to. And now at this point, I'm like, every now and then I treat myself to a shirt or a jacket or some pants, but I'm not like stressing about it, even though I do like collecting shoes. That's just one of my things because I like dancing. But anyways, I was like, I don't really need to focus too much on that. I just focus on the things that I love doing. Everything else is an add-on. Okay. I wear the clothes. I don't let the clothes wear me. So having gratitude. Number 2, you want to self-reflect. Where are you at currently? Most people don't even know where they're at. And I'm not talking about your geographical location. Not home. All right, that's not what I'm talking about. Where you at currently? As in, are you happy? Are you excited about life? Are you excited about the things that you do? Are you at a job that you fucking hate? Or are you at a job you're like, damn, I love what I do. I can't see myself doing anything else. What is it? And if you're not, are you doing anything to move towards that direction that you are? All right. So where you currently at and what actions can you do to make it better? That is a major question, because the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of the questions that you consistently ask yourself. If you're not asking yourself good quality questions, well, guess what? You're not going to have quality answers. Okay. And there's people out there that be like, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Well, one thing I will tell you that is there are better questions to ask. So even though you might believe that there's no such thing as a dumb question, there's still better questions. Okay. And so number 3 is self-care. You want to take care of yourself. You want to take care of yourself physically. You got to go to the gym. You got to work. You got to work out. You got to be strong physically. And then you want to be mentally strong. So are you educating yourself? Are you following certain people that gives you a passion or a purpose in life? What is it? What excites you, right? And lastly, it's spiritually, okay? So it's having this deeper connection within yourself. That is important. Having a purpose, that is important. Knowing what you want to do so that you have an understanding. So most people, they're not very spiritual because they think that's whack. It's like most people are focusing on following what the next trend is, and they leave behind themselves. They leave behind themselves because they're too worried about how to catch up. It's like, dude, worry about yourself. It's all good. There's always another bus ride, right? There's always another bus ride. So it is not so much about attracting the right person in your life. I know attracting the right person is just as important, but more importantly, You want to become the right person. It's becoming the right person that is more important. So what is it that you value? So if you're, let's just say you're single right now and you're like, damn, I want a relationship. I want to have a relationship where it's long lasting. Or maybe you're like, nah, forget that. I want flings. It's all good. You live how you want to live. Depending on how you want to live, it's you have to focus on it. If you're like, damn, I want a meaningful, deep connection relationship, a person that has similar goals and similar values that aligns with what I view. So you maybe some of your values are, hey, you know what? Maybe you're religious and you're like, well, I'd like the other person to be religious. My thing is that person needs to focus on health. Why? Because I focus on health. I focus on eating right. I don't do it every day, but I focus on certain things like, well, how do I have this focus and how does that align me with the next person? Because look, if I focus on the gym and I like to drink water and every now and then I enjoy hanging out with some friends and, you know, have a couple shots or whatever, that's cool, but I'm not going to be doing that every single day. And so that's why I find myself sometimes I step away from certain people that no longer really aligns with me. There are some friends that were like shots and I'm like, yo, I'm in my mid-30s, man. I can't be doing that. How come you're not at the gym? How come you're not working on yourself? Maybe you don't need a gym. All right. At least go out and run or do something. It's like you got to align yourself with similar people with similar values, similar goals and similar values. All right. So it's becoming the right person. That way you could attract the right person. Because when you become the right person, the right person will naturally going to be attractive to you. Okay. And I've always talked about this competitive mindset versus collaborative mindset. When you're in a competitive mindset, it could look like, duh, I don't give a shit, man. What it is. And it takes no effort to not give a shit. It takes no effort. It's like, it's being apathetic. It's like, man, it is what it is. And then there's grief. It's like, damn, whatever, right? And then you go up to the next level. It's fear. You're like, damn, I don't want, and then you start getting angry. Why? Because behind anger is always fear. And the one thing I would challenge you to focus on is the next time you're angry or the next time someone else is angry, behind anger is always fear. So what are they fearful of? What are they fearful of? And so you gotta look at it like that. But if you could get past that threshold, in that threshold of apathetic, grief, fear, and anger, that being competitive mindset, if you could get past that, you start becoming this person where you're in more of a collaborative mindset, so that you could discover yourself and figure out certain things that you enjoy and what you want to do. And that's the beauty of life. It's just knowing what you want to do. And that's no amount of likes. No, like I've seen so many people, man. Look, you could have all the followers. You have all the likes. You can have all the attention on you. Eventually, if you continue to do the things that don't excite you, what's going to happen is that you're not gonna be very excited about it. And if you're not excited about the things that you want to do, it is very difficult to get somebody else excited, because we could see it. And you know, examples are like, there's this one person that I like watching on YouTube. You know, it's one of my pastimes when I'm doing things. I like to watch this person open Pokemon cards. And lately, I saw, you know, his videos. I could see it in his face. I could see it in his demeanor, and he is not excited about it. He is just pumping out content just to pump out content so that he doesn't lose his audience. And I know it. I sense it. If I sensed it, other people could sense it. And so because we could see that, we're like, damn, like he's not excited about things in life. And that's just one example. Millions and millions of followers. All right. So look, like I said, it doesn't matter how many people's following you, subscribe to you. If you're not excited about the things that you do, it's gonna be really difficult to have that other person excited. And think of it as in a relationship. If I'm not excited about my life, and in the beginning, maybe if I met you, I'm like, damn, this person is like, she's hella fine, she's beautiful, and eventually you stare at that face long enough, it doesn't matter how pretty she is, you're gonna find some things you're not gonna like. Maybe she breathes a little bit too hard, or it's like there's something, you're gonna find something that you're not gonna like very much, or you're gonna get comfortable, you're gonna get complacent. And then what happens then? Then you're not, and then you're also not really excited about yourself. So what ends up happening is you're gonna find ways to make excuses. No, I don't know. You know what? Let's just order in. So you stop dating her. You stop courting her. You stop listening to her. She doesn't feel wanted. She doesn't feel appreciated. Well, guess what? Where do you think that relationship is gonna go? Where do you think that So it all stems from you. If you're not at a happy place first, it's gonna be very difficult. Okay, and so the next thing is you want to get to a place where you feel abundant. You want to get to a place where you feel abundant instead of worrying about, damn, like, how can I get into this relationship, or worrying too much about being single. And instead, you just want to go out there and put yourself out there and just light people up, all right? And make them feel good about themselves with your presence. The gift of your time is the most precious thing that you could give to the world, if you know how to give it. Most people lack that, and so they give up before you're even able to get some sort of success. And one of my favorite quotes from Jim Rohn is, success is never crowded along the extra mile. So what does that mean? Is that most people give up way too soon before they find themselves successful, and whatever success means to you. And there was a quote by Earl Nightingale. He said, if I could remember this, hold on. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So whatever success means to you, it's like, look, if success looks like this, then that is success to you. Some people's success is like, well, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, if that's success to you, then by all means, go get that $1 million. Some people's like, I want to be the best goddamn first grade teacher there ever was. And I want that for the students, because when they get older, they're going to be the future. Things like that. Success could be anything, all right? So you want to be able to give that, but you can't give what you don't have. So little by little, just go out there, make people feel good about your presence, your time. That's your most precious gift that you could give to anybody, is your time. And think about it like this: beauty needs witness. And if you have all this beauty, so share this gift of your time with other people, and notice the beauty that you see in your world. You start to notice and you see the beauty in your world without any type of expectations from other people. You're not trying to go out there and, get her number. As a kid, or not as a kid, and when I was younger, I would think like, damn, I'm gonna go outside, get numbers, holler at some girls, things like that, right? And then now it's like, look, you go out there without any type of expectations, and you just give a genuine compliment, like, hey, I really like your hair, like that is some beautiful hair. And then you just, hey, look, it was nice to meet you, and leave it at that. No expectations. You're not looking for anything in return, right? You go out to give. You go out and give the sheer joy of just giving, and you light them up with your gift. And that is how you can start attracting great people into your life, because like I said, you can't give what you don't have. And if you start giving this time, this joy, you're naturally going to attract people that wants to be in your life. And so with that being said, that is today's episode. I hope you guys did enjoy it. It is overcoming the anxiety of being alone. So if you're not at a happy place first, being alone by yourself, it's going to be really hard to convince somebody that you're going to be happy, at least in a long-term episode. So that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next live. If you are interested in watching my other episodes, there's plenty up there on the live tab. And I have a new live every Saturday. That's usually a little bit longer. On Sundays, a little bit shorter. But that being said, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. And I catch you guys on the next one. All right. Peace. Thank you, Liz. Appreciate your time.